Hello YouTube and welcome back to Dare to Game today. Since we're not doing a history video, I figured I'll use the old name, because we're gaming. So I'm super excited to be back to gaming because... Shut up, cow. Because I love gaming, and I'm back to one of my favorite games ever, Kingdom Come Deliverance. And although this won't be releasing on this day... I said shut up. I am recording this on the 2-year anniversary of Kingdom Come Deliverance, so that's super exciting. Today we're going to be taking a look at an extremely cool mod that just recently came out. This mod being called Kingdom Come Deliverance Castles of Bohemia. So we're going to be looking at some new castles in the game, and I am super excited for that. I can't even tell you how excited I am. This is just, I'm predicting this is the beginning of an explosion of fantastic mods that are going to add years to this game's life. This mod is by a talented author whose name is Antoine21. I believe I am saying that right. And let's just get to it and start looking at some of these castles. So, we're here by Neuhof, so you can see where I'm standing here. Castle's right down here. It's a nice spot for it, pretty close to Rete. There's Neuhof. So we're going to be taking a peek at this one. Now, this one I decided to start with because it's arguably the least impressive, but... perhaps that's why I think it might be one of my... It's up there for my favorite. I can't say for sure, because there's some pretty cool castles in here. But let's quick take a look at it, and then I'll talk about it a little more. So outside, you can see we got a nice stew pot. What I can only assume is a poached deer. Not much room back here. Back door, obviously. Off to the side, I can only assume this is a stable. Nope, firewood. That's logical. And then some beer, because everyone needs beer. Inside we've got a really, really small little dining hall. And then if you go up the ladder... we've got ourselves a modest bedchamber slash library slash whatever all this stuff is. And there's also... oh, no, never mind. Oh yeah, I was right. I was going to say, there's also an upstairs, but I can't get to it. I'm assuming maybe at some point that'll be added. But in any case, this castle I would call... it is technically by definition a castle, but I would call it more of a tower house. There are no battlements, which is a shame, because while this wall would keep you safe from not very determined attackers and, of course, wild animals, it wouldn't do much more than that. I mean, you could bar this gate. I'd say this wall is probably, if we're guessing Henry is near 6 feet tall, this wall is maybe 10 feet tall. But that'd be stretching it. So it would keep attackers up for a little while, and I guess you could shoot down at them. So not super defensible, but pretty cool. And I would say if we were role-playing, if I was doing headcanon, this is a realistic house for a recognized bastard. So let's move on to the next. Alright, so we're here at our second one. Quick pop into the map and show you where you are. It actually took me quite some time to find this one. So if you see, here's the Sassau Monastery, here's Skalitz Ravna. So we're in down here, right by this crossing. I kind of like this one, location-wise. I think if I was picking one of these to live in, it'd probably be this one, because it's way out of the way. There's a guard there, but that's because he's from this castle. So just for starters, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this one was just put in recently. It looks like a lot of these assets are from the Skalitz castle. In fact, probably all of them. I like the drawbridge right here. It's kind of cool. I mean... to be fair, it is still more defensible than a regular gate, especially if you have a portcullis inside. But this isn't exactly what I would call a defensible moat. But in any case, it's pretty cool. I like these beams just jutting out of the ground. But if we take the technical difficulties aside, not a bad castle, not a bad looking castle, I should say. I want to pop inside before I make a judgment. This is the only one on this list that I haven't actually been inside yet. So let's go inside. Alright, so there's... looks like another door. Does this go to the courtyard? Yes, it does. So there's one right there, and one right here. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if that's exactly what I would call necessary. But so you have a small dining hall here. And then upstairs we have a pretty modest bedchamber with a... really modern-looking fireplace, but I still like it. I think that's a shrunk-down blacksmith's forge. That is a good use of assets. There's a chest right there, and then we have a third floor, unlike the last tower house that we stopped at. This one actually has a third floor that you can go to, where the chimney for the fireplace comes out, so that's probably good. Got our nice arrow slits, so we can defend the tower house. So if I'm being honest, and I was picking one of these to live in, and you'll see the other ones as we get to them, I don't know, I kind of like this one. It's slightly more defensible than the last one because we have the walls, although they're not really much taller, and these ones are wood instead of stone. These ones do have arrow slits that you can shoot out of, and the interior ground is raised up slightly from the exterior, giving the defenders an advantage. This tower would be more useful if you could get into it. But other than that, not a bad-looking castle. We can pop onto the outside and get one last look at its footprint. I like it. So let's move on to the next. Alright, and so for our third castle, right here, just a little bit east of Ledetchko. So here's Ledetchko. We're just up the river from them. Or down the river, depending which way the current's flowing. So, this one I have more to say about. First of all, I just want to start with the location that was chosen. It's not particularly elevated, which you'd think would be a natural choice, like right there, for this region. But it does have the natural defense of one whole side of it pretty much being protected by a river. And then as we get closer, you can see that the only approach into the castle, which is up on rocky juts, you know, right out of the middle of a field, which is pretty normal. Unfortunately, this does seem to block it impedes traffic. We can say that. But anyway, the only approach is this rather steep approach. It's I wouldn't call it a bridge, but a ramp, and then a drawbridge. This one actually having effectively a moat, so that's useful. Also, very tall walls. So once you pop inside, you can see that this little thing up to here, this is basically Talmberg Castle, just based on how the layout is. So very interesting. Full battlements, full matriculations. I don't know how you say that. No, crenellations. Sorry. I said the wrong word. These are crenellations. There are no matriculations right there. But anyway, a full forge inside this one, so that's pretty cool. I kind of get the feeling that it was tailored for Henry, you know, since he does like to forge stuff. Who knows, maybe the mod author one day will be able to add some sort of a system where we can forge our own swords, you know. Pick the different styles, hilts, all that sort of stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, we pop inside. As you can see, there's a Lord's Lipa banner. But as we pop inside, you can see there's a what you'd probably call guards' quarters, kitchen. Over in here is a storeroom, I believe, with a couple more beds in it.
To get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Henry's starting to get hungry. All right. So we pop up here into the first level. You can see that it's the it's a altered version of the Talmberg dining hall with a nice long table. Then we have a bedroom for, I can't be certain if this would be the Lord's bedroom or not. That's a decently nice bedroom. Some, what I think are either duelists or piercers, and a Bush shield. But anyway, let's pop through this here door. And you can get into a, I would call this a more, maybe a sitting room or a more private dining hall. You know, hard to say. We can pop up to the top level. And we can see, again, like I said, this is basically taken straight out of Talmberg. Here we have what I would call the Lord's bedroom. Or the Lords and Ladies. And here, again, this could also be that, or maybe one's the Lords and one's the Ladies, because oftentimes in medieval era, they would have separate bedrooms. So, and here we have like it's like the chapel from Talmberg, except it looks like it's more transformed into a library slash, I don't know, study. Then if we go out, you can access the tower, just like in Talmberg. So, can't go up, but we can go down right now, but I don't see a ladder, so I'm not going to do it because I'll get stuck in there. But yeah, so that's the interior. Now let's go take a peek at the exterior before we close up shop on this one. So as you can see, this one is no longer what you would consider a very small castle or even a tower house. This is a full-blown castle. This would be a modest estate, comparable to Skalitz, or, I mean, it's not a full estate because there's actually no... I wouldn't count this as being close enough to Ledetchko to consider it, you know, that enclosed. This is more of a holdfast, you know, without a whole lot of economies, you know, supporting it. But with that in mind, it is still a decently sized castle. So pretty cool. Honestly, I think it's pretty awesome. So let's move on to the next one. All right, and so here we are for our fourth one, I believe it is. You can see Uzhitz, it's right here. So we're just a little bit north of Uzhitz in the vast wasteland. Actually, it's not a wasteland. It's a decent amount of farmland. But anyway, so here we have an interesting little castle. I shouldn't say little because it's probably the biggest one on this list. And it appears to be basically a shrunk down version of the upper castle in Rete. And now, based on the location of this and the style, the way I like to think of this castle as is Sir Hanish as his personal estate. Is kind of the way that I'm picturing this one. So inside, you can see we have a melee pit. So I don't know, maybe there will be tournaments in this mod in sometime in the future, and they may be here. Some horses. We have a... Oh, cool, I can get through it. Looked like the wall was too close. You can see we can get up to the battlements here. Unfortunately, for some reason, he pulled the portcullis out, which is beyond me. I don't know why you would ever do that. Portcullis is like the single best defense on a castle, or at least for the approach. Much better than a gate or even a drawbridge. Portcullises were, you know, the bomb. We have a stake, clearly for burning people. So that's from the Woman's Lot DLC, so that's interesting. Got hanging people, that's always fun. A pillory. A whole forge area over here with a grindstone that you can actually use. Looks like we have plenty of troops' quarters taken straight out of the Merhojed military camp, so those are pretty awesome. And then over here looks like more stable area, some more... Can I grab these? No. But there's a Magdeburg sword, a page's sword, and I can't remember what his name is. The guy from Sassau, the custodian, he gives you that sword in the Women's Lot DLC. And some cool shields in the back. Hey, I like that one. Nifty. But anyway, so we got some cool stuff over there. And then we can pop into the keep, the main living area of this one. So I like the design of this one. He took some assets from a church, I believe, probably one in Rete. And so we have a high hall, so we've got a high seat here, where, you know, who I assume would be Lord Hanish is who I'm assuming lives here, or at least in my head that makes the most sense. Could make decrees, and all your people of the court could be up here, so that's pretty cool. I'm just picturing someday a mod will be in this game where we'll have a chair that looks a lot like this, but the hall will be bigger. And the chair will be made out of swords. It's going to be awesome. So we go upstairs into a very, very, very large living quarters. My only problem, of course, with this whole castle is that I don't see a fireplace in it, and a room this big would be hard as hell to heat in medieval times. Here we have a tapestry of what I think is St. George killing the dragon. So, pretty sure that's what that is. So this one is pretty cool. I really like it. I think of, in this game, Sir Hanish reminds me, his like portrayal reminds me of Robert Baratheon, and this is kind of perfect for a Robert Baratheon type character. A hall big enough for parties, but, you know, not lavish or anything. A melee pit outside, plenty of room for military stuff, soldiers, executions, of course, you know, because that stuff has to happen. So I think this fits very well for Sir Hanish, just because I associate those two characters so closely together. So that's number 4. Let's move on to the last one, or at least the last one I've been able to find, at number 5. Alright, so we're here at our 5th and final castle. So this one is by Merhojed. Yes, I know I didn't go in a very logical order. I chose this order based on how I wanted to talk about each castle. This one I think is probably... Now, I of course don't know, but I think this is probably the first one that the mod author worked on, just because it's got the most detail worked into it, and it seems the most polished. Now, based on the location of this one being by Merhojed, and the style of it, and all the stuff inside, I picture this one as Sir Radzig's home after Skalitz. So it's small. It's much smaller than some of them. As you can see, I would say that this is a altered version of Perkstein, the lower castle from Rete. You can see that it's got some stuff that still needs polishing yet. You know, you can still see through the foundation on some of it. It doesn't look supernatural, but that'll come. I say small, but it's actually pretty large, you know, in perspective when you look at it from the outside. It's actually a decently sized castle. So let's go ahead and pop on in. Like I said, I like to picture this one as where Sir Radzig would have left after Skalitz fell. You know, if this had been there, this would be where he would probably want to set up shop. Plus, you know, the guards are wearing his colors. So I'm thinking that's what the mod author thought too. As you can see, like I said, it's basically Perkstein from Rete. At least the keep is straight out of it. The walls are slightly altered. Again, he seems to have taken the portcullis out, which is beyond me. Hopefully he decides to put that stuff back in and fixes the gatehouse. In Rete, however, Henry's room would be over here, and it's not. Down here we have a tiny little cellar with not nearly enough beer or wine. If we pop into the bottom here, there's what could be an armory someday. I hope it will be. We have a storeroom, a small bedroom with a witchcrafty type stool, a door into the backyard, which we'll go to later, and a bunkhouse, or guard room, or whatever you want to call it. Move up to the second level, and in here we've got a small bedroom. I think this one is the one that you sleep in at the end of the game, I think, but I can't be certain. And here we have a small, what looks like a soldier's dining area, because they wouldn't be dining in the Great Hall. Another bedroom, this one for probably, I mean, I think it's Tobias Fafar in the game, in Rete, but here it'd be probably just a slightly higher ranking official, probably a scribe or something. And in here we have a kitchen area, so that's pretty interesting. So let's move up to the top level. So on the top level, we have, of course, all these privies, which are very nice, very convenient. Up here, you can see we're getting into the slightly nicer bedrooms, so this is a pretty decent bedroom. I love the view out the window, very nice. Nice covered bed, 2 chairs by the fire, very elegant. Up in here, we have what I would call the High Hall, or the Lord's Hall, or whatever. So you can see this one's quite small, would not be very big audiences being held in here. But I think it's a decent size for the castle. And in here we have a, I don't even know if you could call this a dining hall, but it looks more like a what we'd call a conference hall now. Looks like it's for strategy. I love this little detail of this map. I don't know if this is an asset out of the game or if the mod author made this, but it's very cool. You can see it's got Ravna over here, and over there's Talmberg, and I think that would be Ledetchko. Or no, this would be Merhojed. This is where we are. Okay. So that's very cool. Definitely a lot of decoration has gone into this one. Oh, and in here we have the Lord's bedroom. So I forgot this one doesn't go out to the hallway. It opens into this room, which I think is strange and wouldn't be in the game, but... Oh, I didn't notice this before. What sword is that up there in the wall? I think it's St. George's sword. No, it's the Radzig's sword. Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, so this is definitely Radzig's place. I like he's got a bunch of those shields up on the wall. That's awesome. So let's pop down into the back courtyard, the outer bailey. I don't know what it would be called. This tower is the same as in Rete. I went up it before. There's not a whole lot of stuff in there right now. It's just a tall tower. I will pop up in it anyway so we can check out the view. So there you have it. If we look out this nice open window, you can see a decent view of all the countryside. This would be an asset for anyone defending this place, because you could see for several miles in every direction, so you'd be able to tell if any decent-sized force of enemies were headed your way, day or night. With that in mind, now we'll pop down and check out the back courtyard. So out here you can see we've got, I don't know what you would even call this, probably some sort of a, I mean, if I was doing it, this would be some sort of a chicken coop area, is probably what I'd have there. You'd want to have some animals and food. I like this. That's very nice. There's just a hole in the wall that clearly he didn't want to have there, so he's temporarily got it filled up with a big rock. That's pretty awesome. I think this area here, these assets are taken from the little pit in Rete next to the lower castle where all of the Skalitz refugees are living. So, nice use of assets there. Like I said, I gotta applaud the creativity of this guy. I don't know if I'd want to... I can't even tell what room that is in there, but this view would not be as good as the last one we looked at. And of course back here... Oh no! Oh no! Well, that's not great. Guess I'll be... Oh, look at that, I got out. Ooh. So clearly you can see there's some bugs and this needs some polish. But this is arguably the most impressive, and just in means of scope and everything, this is probably the coolest and biggest mod we've had so far to the game. So I definitely wanted to make a video, take you a look at it, and just, you know, show off this mod author's great work so far. So again, that's Kingdom Come Deliverance, Castles of Bohemia. The author is Antoine21, and I will of course have the link in the description. I very much recommend going over there, checking it out, maybe giving it a try, endorse it if you like it, and if he's got a donation thing, you know, drop some donations to the guy. Stuff like this takes a lot of work, and it does make the game better for all of us. And you know, if he continues this, or maybe other people are interested in teaming up with him, this could turn into something very, very cool. There is a note on his page that says it will be updated to include Henry's stash, beds in each castle, so that, you know, Henry can sleep, so you can kind of use it as your own home. He's going to do more polish to make them look more natural and, you know, fix a lot of the bugs. So he does plan on developing this mod further. So, like I said, go check that out. Definitely. I definitely recommend it. And of course, if you liked the video, drop a like, you know, maybe a comment. tell me which castle was your favorite. In any case, thanks for watching. See you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.